Waiting for that sound to kick in. You know how it works. All right, guys. Figured I would just preface this video. Now this has already been shot. It's already been done. The plan has changed entirely due to unforeseen circumstances. So the plan that I'm discussing during this, I did edit out all of the trimming and all that stuff. I did go on a little preach rant, but my editing skills are nil, man. So I wanted to leave some of it in just to kind of explain what I was doing, especially with the MSG. But, you know, to be able to cut specific parts out of the video, that's just not my forte, man. So I just cook shit. So I just wanted to say the plan has changed. This cook did not go at all well. This has been a problem child. So with that being said, here's the video. My late night date. Got this beautiful brisket from 1855, black Angus, prime beef, baby. So, now, I've done a lot of briskets on this channel. A lot of times it's me trying stuff. I mean, I've done rolled briskets, I've done umami briskets, I've injected them, I've done just about everything you possibly can do with a brisket that's legal, you know? And one thing I realized that I've never done is my brisket. So, my wife loves brisket. I don't mind it. I could live without it. But I've said it before. I mean, it's good, but it's just not my thing, you know? But I do, you know, I enjoy a good brisket. So now this isn't gonna be Texas style or any style at all. This is just over the years, a technique, you know, that I've seen, that I've tried, that, you know, I've thought of, just that kind of stuff. This is just gonna be a straightforward, good brisket, my opinion. So let's get busy. And that's it. Again, save that stuff. It's good stuff right there. I'm just gonna move this off to the side. All right, now this is where it's gonna cause some rage. And I'm not gonna preach on it, but I definitely want to make a point on something. And what we're talking about, I mentioned it yesterday in the video of my chicken, the boudin stuffed chicken of sorts, that we are playing with the fifth taste, aka MSG, aka monosodium glutamate. It gets a bad rap, but what it does is it enhances flavor. It has less sodium than salt, almost a third less. It's been demonized, man. Ever since the late 60s, it's been demonized. So, like I said, I'm not gonna preach on it. All I'm gonna say is read up on it. Not just one article, not just the headline, not the first things that come up on Google search. Do some reading and you'll see. Yes, you don't wanna eat it all the time, but it's a natural occurring chemical and you eat it way more than you'll ever even realize. It comes naturally in tomatoes. I mean, the stuff it's everywhere. And it's that stuff that makes you want to take that next bite. It's that stuff that just kind of, gets you in that cheek, you know, and you're like, damn. And, you know, I mean, a lot of people say Chinese food syndrome because Chinese food is big. You know, the Chinese have been using MSG for years, you know, from seaweed. They couldn't even figure out why when they use seaweed in certain foods, it would just enhance that flavor. And they found out, they isolated, it was the glutamate in the seaweed that was causing them flavors to be enhanced. So, that's all I'm gonna say about it. Do some research on it. I wouldn't suggest using it all the time. Yes, you know, just like anything. I wouldn't suggest you know, soak everything in butter all the time, or, you know, cover everything in salt heavily all the time. It's the same thing, in moderation, man. But it has its place because it is a serious flavor enhancer, man. A lot of guys are injecting briskets and all this stuff. That stuff that you're injecting with it, a lot of times it'd be more, would just have more stuff in it than just some straight up MSG, man. So, anyway, that's where I'm gonna leave it at. But what I'm gonna do is I wanna just draw this out a little bit, just on the fat side. Now, my rub is 50-50 salt. And then I usually do, so like this one right here for this amount is 4 parts salt, 4 parts pepper, 1 part granulated garlic, 1 part granulated onion, and a 1/2 part of celery seed. That's it, because that celery seed also brings that umami, you know? That's what this is. So what I'm gonna do is just on my, see how it starts clumping? This is Maldon flake and quarter cracked black pepper. I'm just gonna dust my fat cap with it. This isn't going on the grill. This is sitting in the fridge. It is 7:30 at night. I plan on putting this on at about 2 o'clock, as long as my body cooperates. It's cold as hell. Beast is in the garage getting a remodel and a makeover. So it's going on the smoke fire, so I don't have to pay a whole lot of attention to it. So all I'm gonna do, I just want some salt on there, just to kind of break into that fat a little bit. Now, what we're gonna do is flip this thing up, put it on our tray, and just for tonight, I'm not going to rub it. I'm not gonna put my seasoning on it until I put it on the grill, because it'll just dry out. My opinion, yes, there's things to the contrary, but unless you leave it on for a vast amount of time, a certain amount of time, the salt will work to a detriment. Again, my opinion, guys. You do you. So, right off the bat, we can see that's our grain. Now I know when I cut this thing, I'm cutting my slices like so. You know what I mean? So, MSG, baby. Lightly. This stuff is like dynamite. It doesn't take much. But what this is gonna do is it's just gonna penetrate into that meat, and it's just gonna make you want another bite, and another bite, and another bite. Sure, injections have their place with moisture and all that other stuff, but I'm telling you, this stuff right here, it wakes it up, baby. It wakes it up. Just like so. That's it. Now, I'm gonna throw this guy in the fridge, and I'm gonna let it dry. I'm just gonna let the top dry out. Got the salt on the bottom on the fat cap. That's gonna do its job down there. You know, help that stuff go down. And then this is just gonna soak into that meat and just give it, kiss those cheeks, baby. So, it's gonna go in the fridge. It's just gonna be, it's not gonna be overnight. It's not gonna be anything like that. Like I said, it's gonna be a few hours. What is that? 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 12. Be like 6-7 hours. So I'm just gonna throw it in there, let the skin dry out, let that MSG just soak in and do its thing. And then we're gonna pull it out, hit it with our rub, toss it on the smoker, and just a few other things. Really, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go super smoke. Here, how about I look at you guys? How about that? So I'm gonna do super smoke on the, or smoke boost, sorry, whatever the hell. I'm gonna do smoke boost on it from when I put it on. I'm gonna go back to sleep, and then I'll probably be up around 5:30. It's what time I usually wake up. Sometimes 4:30, it just depends on the day. But then I will keep an eye on it. I'll see what's up. I wanna go around 225. And I'm just gonna take it until I get that color that I wanna see on this thing. And then after that, what we're gonna do, we're gonna double wrap in some butcher paper, toss it back on there, We're gonna go with 275 once I toss it back on there. 250, 275. It just depends on the color that I see. If the color's getting a little dark, you know, if I see that it's cooking a little quick, I'm not even gonna bother doing the 275, but I will go to 250. So we'll decide that when it comes. You know, it just all depends on how your pit is running and stuff like that. Smoke fire is pretty consistent when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I can probably say with pretty good confidence it's gonna be 275. But we'll see what happens. And then after that, a couple other things, a couple of comp guys that I've talked to and things like that swear by one other trick. And that is when you pull it, you keep it wrapped in butcher paper and then you wrap it in plastic wrap. And what that does is it just locks that flavor in. You're not holding a lot of moisture because you used butcher paper. I wouldn't suggest doing it if you use tinfoil. So there's not a whole lot of like steam action going on. But what that plastic wrap does is it just holds all those juices in there, and any of the ends that maybe got, you know, a little bit crunchy, a little bit further, you know, done more than the others, it just softens everything up, man. But you'll still have your bark. It'll still be there if you build your bark properly in the first place. AKA starting with a dry surface, which is what we're doing when we dry it out in the fridge. You know, smoking it and butcher paper. You're gonna have your bark, man. There ain't nothing gonna take that away from you. So that's what we're gonna do. And that's it. So right now, look at that. You can even see, this is crazy, man. You see that glisten? That is the MSG already going into the meat. It was dull red a little bit ago, and that stuff is already doing its thing. It's shit's magic, man. I'm telling you. I'm not advertising for it, but it has its place. Everything has its place, man. You know, I know a lot of guys are purists about stuff, and it's like they refuse to accept anything. You know, it's like nothing. Chicken wings in a pressure cooker and then grilled. Some of the greatest shit I ever made, man. Yep, I enjoy a good smoked wing, but I'm telling you, if I had to pick, I'm gonna pressure cook them and then I'm gonna grill them off because they're fantastic, man. Utilize the tools that you got, man. I know a lot of guys piss on sous vide. Sous vide's a great, you know, a great tool for cooking. Yeah, it takes a lot of time, man, but it's a great tool. Everything's a great tool, man. Utilize it. Potatoes, I'm gonna tell you right now, I haven't put a potato in a grill or in an oven in probably 7 years, man, because I cook all my potatoes in the microwave. It makes no difference at all. None, man. A baked potato. That inside of the potato is still gonna be the same exact thing, and I will put it up. I will do the Coca-Cola challenge with anybody from a baked potato. Skin is different, yes, but not the inside of the potato. Not a straight up baked potato. And I can cook 8 potatoes in the microwave in about 9 minutes, man, whatever. Start, 5, baked potato, I'm done, man. So, utilize your equipment, man. It's not about, you know, you're not flexing nuts with anybody, man. Just cook food and make it good, man. I don't understand why everybody just rages on certain things that people do, man. It's like, back off, man. You do your thing. What's the big deal? They didn't make this shit. You know what I mean? You take your car everywhere. You don't walk, right? Why? Because the cars get you there quicker, man. It's more convenience. So, it's the same thing. I don't put my baked potatoes in the oven for 45 minutes because I can cook them in the microwave just as good in 8 minutes. So, it's the same concept, man. We're just cooking, guys. We're just trying to make good food. You do it your way. And keep your mind open to other things, man. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, woo! That went off on a tangent there. My apologies. But, shit pisses me off, man. I see these comments that come up in my YouTube sometimes just by doing something or whatever. And it's just like, that's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. It's like, no, that's not how you do it. It's entirely different, man. Entirely different. The worst comment that I ever had was, in my opinion, no, you're wrong, in my opinion. So, in his opinion, my opinion is wrong. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you with that. We're gonna throw this in the fridge, guys, and we're just making brisket. So, it's just cooking food. We're not saving the world. So, all right. Did not go as planned. I never woke up, so it is 5:30. Put our brisket on, shall we? I pulled it out. I rubbed it with that rub we talked about. And I have the smoke fire going in smoke boost mode out there. So let's go get her out in the pit. All right, guys. I don't know. Some struggles this morning with this fucking thing. Anyway, we're ready. But, all right. So we're gonna throw this guy on. I'm actually going to throw it right here in the center, right over that flavorizer bar. Tighten it up. And that's wasting it, right? All right. So that's, like I said, smoke boost. And I'm gonna let that roll for about 3 hours or so. And then I'll bring it to 225 and let it do that until it gets that color, gets that bark, and then we'll wrap it up. So I'll bring you back here for some double checks. If it looks like it's building a nice bark and drying, I might throw some mop on it. I haven't decided yet. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Just depends on the cut and how it's looking during the cook, you know. So we'll be back. What's going on, boys and girls? So I had to call an audible, make some changes. You know, I'm not one to, I don't know, issue with the smoke fire here this morning. Had a hell of a time starting it. And then I finally got it going, took it apart, checked everything, made sure I had everything cleaned out. I got it fired back up and got an alert that there was a flame out. So I'm like, okay, I got to work on it again. I fired up the oven because because Beast, the stick burner, is in the shop, the garage there, getting a makeover. So I'm down a smoker right now. But I threw it in the oven just while I was trying to get this thing situated. I'm not sure if it's just, I don't know, my lack of maintenance, or honestly, I have no idea. So I'm just trying to figure it out. So I figured while I was figuring it out, I'll throw it in the oven. Power went out across my entire area. So then the oven went down. I'm done. So we're gonna cook the brisket on the Santa Maria. Wood doesn't ever go out unless you let it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I got a nice stack going on in here, as you can see. I have a good pile here of oak, getting rip and roaring here in the center. And I've got the Brazzaro starting up as well, so I can continuously feed. Now, I don't just want to straight up grill it, and I want it to be done today. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to level out my bed of coals, and I'm going to put the fire to the side just a little bit, and I'm going to have the radiant heat from the Brazzaro also, you know, because I need continuous fuel to be feeding this thing, because it's gonna be a hell of a cook, man. So all my plans for today pretty much just got wiped out because I need to maintain an open fire and cook this brisket, because this is a beautiful brisket and I do not want it to be fucked up. So pardon my language. So what I'm gonna do, in order to encapsulate some of that heat and smoke, I'm actually gonna throw the brisket on the grate. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lay one of my hotel pans over the top of it, just to kind of get a little bit of, you know, encapsulate some of that smoke in there, you know, make sure, you know, I get it nice and smoky, nice flavor, and to, you know, give it that roasting type deal, you know, to make sure that she cooks. So that's it. So today we're gonna do a brisket on the Santa Maria, guys. But this is actually going to be a good test, because the next Santa Maria that I'm building, the one that I'm attaching to Beast to build the Titan cook system, I was actually brainstorming about a way to do some live fire smoking, you know, that I can something where I can actually enclose the cooking area of the Santa Maria if I choose to, if I wanted to do a roast, a brisket, or anything like that. So we're going into test zone here today too. So, but wood don't ever let you down. So we're just gonna go that way, and we're gonna let Trend Killer throw some flavor at this baby. So that's that. I'm gonna get this thing going. I want to get it burnt down. Make sure I got a nice clean burn going on. I noticed I still have some dirty smoke coming over here. The Brisaro I'm not so concerned about, but I just need some of this wood just to kind of cook down a little bit so I get a nice clean burn. And like I said, I'm going to put the brisket on. I'm probably going to go long ways with it, so that way I have the service area and the play area. And worst case scenario, I can just rotate it. But like I said, I'm going to have some radiant heat coming from this side, so it should help, especially once the coals start falling down on the Brisaro side. It should be wrapped in fire, so to speak, and it should be okay. I don't know, guys. So, ain't gonna let it stop me. Let's see what happens. All right, guys. So, makeshift time. Check it out. So this is what I got going on here. This is how we're doing this. Got the Brisaro going. That way I can keep a nice clean source of fuel that I can pull underneath. Once I get a nice bed of coals, I'm just gonna sprinkle some very thinly just at the bottom, just for some more radiant towards the bottom, even though I'm not sure it's going to need it. I will make that judgment here once I get to it. So then what else I got here? I got my fire going here. Got a nice burn. Off to the side, I got a piece of 1/4-inch steel on top just to stop that heat from going out. It's gonna kind of hit that and just kind of roll a little bit, and just, it should just contain that heat source just a little bit. And then once I get a better clean on this, I'm gonna get my doors closed and limit that oxygen, so I just have a nice, just a nice clean burn. Once I know that fire is going, I got some little bit of a heavy smoker over here. While it's still not dark or billowing, I don't want that entirely pressed in. I want it to ignite a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And then we have the brisket underneath here. I have it sitting right on the V-grates. And then I raised my hotel pan just so, because I didn't want anything touching the top of the brisket. So I have full clearance. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we're going to roll, man. So let's see what happens, guys. Pretty damn good. So got her up a little bit more, trying to get a good balance of some heat, some smoke. Smoke is definitely rolling in there from the Brisaro, as you can see, and my fire over here. So I'm getting some nice smoke flavor in there. I don't know, man. The only thing that concerns me is drying out, because I have no idea how hot it is in there. So what I'm going to do is I whipped up a mop. This is essentially Snow's barbecue mop. It's half an onion diced up, a stick of butter, melted down, got the onion nice and translucent, half a cup of Worcestershire, half a cup of vinegar, and 2 cups of water and a tablespoon of mustard. That's it. Brought it up to a boil, killed it, let it sit. I got her staying warm on this 1/4-inch chunk of steel that I got going on over here. And right now, I noticed that I actually have the thin side of the brisket close to my fire side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it and I'm going to mop it. I figure if I keep it mopped, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to do it gently so I don't destroy any bark, because you got to have bark with brisket, man. But we're going to see what happens. But I figure if I keep it mopped, I should be able to keep that moisture in that brisket and not dry it out, just in case the temp is higher than I think. I mean, judging by my hand, I'm guessing it's around the 250, 270 mark that's actually going in there, but it's so damn hard to tell. I'd just be guessing, honestly. But just knowing how this thing works, you know, and my temperatures from just using it, you know, and cooking on the Santa Maria now for a bit of time. I'm guessing it's around there, but like I said, I would just be speculating at this point. So anyway, let's check this thing out real quick, and we'll give this guy a mop. And like I said, I'm gonna rotate it, so I have my thicker end of my brisket closest to my heat source. You know, while I do have some radiant heat coming from the Brazzero over here, it's not nearly as much as what's coming from this fireside right here. So let's do this. Get you guys over here so you can see what's going on. And I'm going to glove up. These things are going to need a bath. So I'm just going to use these anyway. So let's pull our deflector off here. And see what I'm saying? It's looking pretty damn good, guys. Like seriously, it's looking really good. So let me move this out of the way. It's tightening up. See what I'm saying about that? And I'm just gonna throw it back down here. Move it forward. Get my risers on. And let's mop this guy. And see what happens. So I'm just going to just do a nice little pat mop on here. Try not to wash off that bark. It's already set quite well. Some of my larger chunks of salt I notice are, you know, are coming loose, but they should settle in. There we go. Okay, we got those V grates throwing that juice back and that moisture back up at it, so that should help. In case you hadn't noticed, I do have it fat cap down, which I usually do anyway, especially if I'm, depending on the smoker I'm using. Now, if I had it in the rotisserie, I would have it fat side up, but fat side down, you know, just kind of protects that brisket a little bit from the heat source, especially when the heat is directly below the brisket. You know, if you're using a pellet smoker, or you know, even a smoker where the firebox is below it, you know. So I'm just gonna try to keep this thing moist and throw some stuff at it. Once I see a nice color and a nice bark formed, we're gonna go per usual, and I'm gonna double wrap it in some butcher. I'm going to kick the fire off to the even more of a side, and then I'm going to lower it in since there will be some protection in there. That's all we're going to do. So we're just winging this shit, guys, and see what happens. So, all right, bring my pot back over here, and let me just, can't set that down for 1 second. All right, so that's that. Let me get my risers back up here, and just like that, guys. So I'm gonna do that. I'll just keep an eye on it, you know. It's not like I'm lifting the lid, so it doesn't really matter, you know. I'm just going to just keep it moist, you know, try to keep that moisture in there. Try not to cook it too fast, man. So checked it a few minutes ago before I hit it with a mop. Color's looking real good, man. I had an idea about my meters because it'll tell you the ambient temp. So I actually have 1 meter in the point at grate level and 1 meter in the flat at grate level. And she's been rolling about 235 to 240. So temp management's pretty damn good, man. I'm actually seriously impressed. But it has some real nice color on it. I figure running the risk of drying it out just by the way it's cooking. So we're gonna wrap it up, man. We got the color that we like. Yeah, my bark isn't where I like it, but it's gonna be in butcher paper, so hopefully it continues to build while it's, you know, still holds some moisture in there. So let's get it wrapped up. All right, so as you can see, the color's pretty damn nice on it, man. We got some bark building on the sides. She's got a, you know, little bit of wiggle. She's still tight, definitely. It's definitely got to break down, but just from the mopping, you know, it is what it is. I still think it's going to turn out pretty damn good, but we'll find out here. So what I'm going to do is let me block these off here. I just had this set up like this so you guys can see. Oh, she's hot. What we're looking at on color. So I'm going to do a double wrap on this guy. Like so. Pull that baby nice and tight. There's my other. Go. Give her one more. Give her nice and tight again. I'm trying to find my other probe. Where did it go? I lost it. That moment you lose your probe. Oh well, whatever. All right. So I'm gonna give her a wrap like this. Wrap like that. Now here's our flesh side. Our fat cap is down right now. Give her another one. Pull her nice and tight. Tuck my edges in like so. Just like that. Nice tight little package. Ready to hit the pit. So check this out. I've been thinking about this. I have my fire pretty much maintained. She's under control. She's doing quite well. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my rake here and do that. Got our coals over here. We got our coals underneath the Brazzaro right here. So we have coal on both sides of the pit. And I am going to start it flesh side down. And we're just going to throw that bitch in the pit, man. Just like so. Let me give it a little bit while I get that going. So we're going to do it just like this. Throw a chunk of wood on her. So that's how we're going to roll, man. I'm just going to throw it in the pit. We got it on the fire brick. I'm going to close these guys up like so. I am going to take my hotel pan, get rid of these risers. We're going to throw him right there. You guys see what's going on? All right. And then just like that. So I'm going to roll it just like so. Let's throw our gate back on over here. And just like that. We got heat on this side. We got heat on that side. We got our brisket wrapped up, sitting on some fire brick down there. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. I will give it a flip back to the fat side, but I figured like that, any of that moisture, any of that anything, kind of maybe run back in through the meat. I know the meat's probably be pretty tight right now, so, you know, might be hoping for a little bit too much, but we're doing our best here. So let's see what happens. All right, guys, so just poked at her a bit. She's nice and tender. I'm not confident we built any bark, but hey, it is what it is. We had to roll with the punches today. So this video is already getting insanely long, just, you know, from my my soapbox stance on MSG at the beginning of it. You know, I'm gonna try and scrub some of the trimming. You guys have seen it. You know, a lot of times when I'm doing shit like that, I'm talking at the same time, you know, just whatever information, or, you know, sometimes babbling, whatever. So I'm gonna try and scrub through that, maybe shorten it just a little bit. I don't know. But either way, what I'm gonna do now, to keep this video short, you guys have seen it. You don't need to see me pull it off. So I'm gonna pull this thing off. I'm just going to wrap it. I'm gonna keep it in the butcher paper, but I'm gonna wrap it tight in saran wrap. I'm hoping maybe that'll help also with, you know, if we have any dryness. I don't think we will, but you never know. As well as any of the, you know, the crusties, you know, around the edges and stuff. It'll just soften everything up. Like I said, I don't expect to see any bark on it. But I'm hoping we have some nice tenderness. I hope it's juicy, and hope we have some really good flavor. You know, it's taken a lot of oak. I know it definitely took some smoke just by the color when we wrapped it. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna let it rest for about an hour and a half, and we'll cut into it, see what's going on. So next time I see you guys is us pulling it out of the paper and plastic, and let's slice into her, see what we did. All right, guys, here we have her. Not a whole lot of bark, but it's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It's got some wiggle in its ass. Let's see. Yeah. Well, it's moist. It's not dried out. Damn. Let's see what's going on. Well, holy shit. As expected, small smoke ring, but definitely has the flavor. Wow, I seriously had no faith in this, especially everything that was going on, but I gotta say, it's damn tasty. And I will definitely do it again, but more with a plan. Wow. All right. Well, that's it. The problem child brisket. It was a hell of a day, but it turned out good. So, all right, that's all I got.